Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today I got for you guys some of the best setups in the game, brought to you by some of the best BRM5 players ever. So this video took a lot of time to make, so I really hope you enjoy it.
Hello everybody, my name is Santiago1984. I'm the team leader for Advanced Rank Company, and the gun I choose is AK-74n. So the reason why I like this gun is because it's just a jack of all trades. You can do long range, you can do close range, you can do mid range. It's basically, it could be an ASVAL, but then it could also be an AUG, but then you could also turn it into an HK. It's just, it can do anything. That's why I like it so much. Because I am such a fast player, it allows me to just, do what I'm best at, being fast, acting fast, playing fast, shooting fast, and the gun it's the beast. My gun, the AK-74n, comes in quite expensive. I won't lie to you guys. My setup is priced at $4,350. Now it is quite expensive, but in my opinion, that's just fucking worth it. I can't lie to you guys. The 45 times mag, the SL26 45 times black, it costs $1,500. So it is quite expensive, I can't lie. Then we have the extra rail mount, which is $250, and then you have the reflex. Right now, this is completely out of your choosing, of course. But my reflex, I like to play with the one times, costs $200. The stock costs $500. It is quite expensive. Now this does make your gun way fucking lighter. So do I recommend it? Fuck yeah. My handguard, that shit is actually quite fucking expensive. $2,500. Then after that, I personally like to use the dangerous stubby. Now for the radios, I suggest you can do whatever the fuck you want to. Alright, that's just all preference. Alright, that's all you. I personally like to use the dangerous stubby, which comes in at a price of $350. And now we have the suppressor. The suppressor is probably one of the most important parts. Now, if you're a fucking dumbass, you would get the multi-caliber, which is fucking expensive, 9,000 for just to make your gun even more fucking heavy than it already is. I'm good. Alright, if you are a brokey, then go with the TTK Putnik. It costs $1,550. As you can see here, the velocity is quite fucking amazing. It's basically an ASVAL. I can't see them little fucking numbers. It says 2,887, which to me, that's just fucking amazing. The range, holy fuck. Okay, for a PvP gun, you don't need this much range, but it's just, if you're a Metro main, fuck you by the way, you're gonna go insane. The ergonomics. Look, we're going a little bit on the red side over here. It's 39, but that shit don't matter because then you get the recoil at 39 as well, and we're in a green this time. Now let's get to the stuff that's important. The fucking damage. So the damage of this gun to the head is 88. So yeah, it ain't a fucking one tap. Alright, stop bitching. Just shoot heads, okay? Torso, it's 44. Arms is 31. Legs is 31. And then DPS is 469 to torso. Alright, well, see ya.
Hey guys, Fallacy here. I play PvP a bit too much, and here's my favorite setup. It's called the L85. I think it's obvious to a lot of the community that this gun is super good with the addition of spread and all, mainly because it virtually has none.
One enemy remains.
And one of my favorite parts about this gun is that when you shoot, the sight doesn't really shake, and this applies to all the sights. And I'm not sure if this is because it's with the extra attachment of an A2 rail, I think it's called, but I hope this is either intentional or a bug that may influence future developer decisions about ADS shake, since it was a big problem for me when I was starting out with the Resurgence PvP. With the addition of new guns, I believe this carbine is the best one and will be, unless it needs a nerf. Alright. I also use a flash hider on this gun. As you can see, there's no muzzle flash. Mainly because that was another one of my biggest problems. Every time I would aim with a certain any actual gun, with Warpig, if it has a high rate of fire, the muzzle flash would happen so often that I actually can't see what I'm shooting. And that, with the addition of ADS shake, it was really annoying for me, basically. So this is a setup purely based on my personal problems with the gunplay in this game, and I hope the developers implement the 0 ADS shake for PvP on all guns, because that's like one of the main reasons I'm using the gun specifically. There's a tiny bit of horizontal recoil, but I don't really think it's that annoying. I mean, yes, for sure, it'd be a problem when it came to things like Tokyo streets, coast, mid alleyway, and basically any long-range engagements. Oh, especially Metro. But I think going semi-auto with this gun should be fine due to the lack of ADS shake. This is the setup I have. Like I said, I have a flash hider, A1. I think ergonomics really matters because the sight doesn't shake. You can use any sight you want. For the extra, I recommend the A3, not A2, sorry. A3, I think it's just the gun actually. So, A2 or A3, based on preference. I don't think the sight shakes anyway. Mag of choice. This one's lighter, but not by much. Doesn't really matter. Get the threaded barrel, make sure, because then you won't have the muzzle attachment option. And the lightest handguard available if you so choose. And yeah, that's about it for my favorite setup. Have a good one.
Hello everyone, this is Squeaka. Today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite guns in the current PvP meta, and that is the M4A1. Now, here's why. So the M4A1 is currently one of the best guns, if not the best in my opinion, and that is because of its combination of fire rate, shots to kill, and the weight stat. And let's break this down. So, many guns in this update have been nerfed, significantly nerfed. Some guns can no longer one-shot to the head, and some require one more shot to the limbs or to the body. Now, why is the M4 meta then? It's because it was left untouched. It still retains its 3 shots to the limb, it still does respectable torso damage, and on top of that, it does 800 RPM. That's a lot more than a lot of other guns. And so that means its TTK is one of the lower ones on that regard. Now you may be asking, why am I not using that as well then? And that's simply because there is no more 30-round magazine. In PvP, when you may be laying down suppressive fire or pre-firing and whatnot, you want that magazine capacity. So you never know, you might need it, 40 might be overkill. 30 I think is mandatory. Especially for something as the ASBOW, where it's basically just a bullet hose, you want as many rounds in the magazine as possible. And now the M4A1 retains the 40 round and the 30 round magazine, which makes it perfectly suitable for these sorts of engagements. Now, let's break down the stats. Of course, we have the damage. 92 to the head, that's a 2-shot to the head. Torso 49, just shy of 50, but yes, the 3 shots to the torso. Arms and legs, this is the meat of the build, right? 35 damage to the limbs, which makes it a 3-shot. Now, due to this, the extended barrel is absolutely mandatory. This is what brings it to the 3-shot status. Normally, it does 31. That is not enough. So right now, we have the 16-inch barrel on, muzzle. I usually run War Pig, and if not, I'll usually run a suppressor, which ends up being the Sierra QD. If it's personal preference, if you like the lower weight, I honestly don't think it makes that big of a difference. You can run the A1, of course, because it's also a flash hider, and they actually work this update. The grip that I have equipped is the Summit Vertical. This reduces the most recoil out of all grips, save for one, which reduces the same amount. It was introduced this update, and it's a quest item. It's practically the same thing as the Summit Vertical, except it's 2 grams lighter, which is not a noticeable difference whatsoever. So personally, it's not worth it if you don't like doing quests. Just note though that this is what I've heard from others who have gotten it. I've not seen any image proof myself, so please take that with a grain of salt. Now, my handguard is the RIS-2. I don't use the other ones because they have that front post iron sight and it blocks my vision. I like to keep it clean, so it's pretty obvious why I would run this, even though it's pretty ugly, to be fair. For the magazine, it's going to be personal preference, right? You can run 30 or 40. They both have their benefits. I personally don't think the downsides of the 40 round are too big, so I like to run that. I also usually play more defensively, so there's that. Now we have the cuff stock. So the reason why I run this over the Bravo is because the recoil reduction of the Bravo compared to the cuff is only 1 point. That's pretty negligible, to be honest. And the ergonomics difference, though, that is 8 points. Normally, I don't care too much about ergonomics, but this offsets the ergonomics decrease of the 40 round magazine, and I really like that. So run the cuff stock is definitely the pick. 8 ergonomics is actually a noticeable difference compared to 1 recoil. It's also lighter. I mean, there's that. And of course, we are on to the sight. Sight is personal preference. I personally run the Reflex, or I will run the TRX. Reflex, it's a small red dot. Sometimes you can get it lost, but the housing is really clean. Now with the TRX, the housing is not as clean. It's sort of bulky, but that green dot is really easy to keep track of. So that's just an example of the subjectivity of the sights there. Of course, I almost forgot the War Pig, of course. So the muzzle, actually, I think this might be personal preference too. War Pig is not the definite answer. You can always run a suppressor, or now you can actually run the flash hider for reduced weight compared to the suppressor, because the flash hiders actually work this update. So there is that. I will either run the A1, the War Pig, or the Sierra QD. Pick and choose, pick and choose. Multi-caliber is also fair.
Hello, my name is Antibiotics, and I'm a starter for Advanced Wiring Company. So the gun I'm doing right now is AUG. I'm gonna tell you guys why I like it. So the reason why I like this gun is really good, super fast. It's 90 damage to the head, and 2 times in the head and you already kill him. It's really light to run with, and yeah, it has really good magazine ammo in it. So let's talk about the setup now. So my setup cost of the gun is 5,100, and if you want to add it with the gun, it's going to be 8,600. And next what we're going to talk about is about the attachments. So the attachments, what I set up with the gun is magazine 42 time. It costs 1,500. Pretty cheap. Everybody has that kind of money. Well, this is the new quest. You guys can get like all the money in the world. And for the sight, it's going to be a reflex sight. It costs about $200. That's light. Just win a PvP match and you already get it. And for my handguard, it's going to be the rail package. It costs 1,000. It's not a lot again. Like you guys can like win like 3 more matches and get it. And for the barrel, it's gonna be a heavy 24.4. It will cost 500. It's not a lot. And for my muzzle, it will be the SOCOM 556 Mini 2, and that will cost 1,550. And yeah, that's all my attachments. So now we're gonna talk about the stats, and we're talking about the body right now. So in the head, it's 90 damage, really good damage on the head. On the torso, it's 47 damage. 3 shots in the body, you already got him. And for the arms, it's 34 damage. Not a lot. I mean, it's not a lot, but you can still kill him. And for the legs, it's 34 as well. And now we're gonna talk about the gun. So the velocity is 3,188. It's not bad. Range is 2,887. Ergonomics is 42. Recoil is 33. And the weight is 476 grams. Oh, and for the body, I forgot that the DPS is 543 to torso.